Hello, and a very warm welcome back to our channel. This video, we give you a piece of breaking news from Spectator UK. When will Meghan and Harry stop bothering us with nonsense speeches? Another day, another Zoom missive from the Duke and Duchess of Woke. Hot on the heels of their thinly veiled intervention in the U.S. election, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have called for an end to structural racism in the UK via a new initiative they've launched in their collaboration with the Evening Standard. To mark the beginning of Black History Month in the UK, Harry and Meghan have unveiled a list of BHM Next Gen trailblazers. That is, Black Brits who are making a difference in arts, politics, and culture, chosen in turn by some of the Sussex's favorite Black British artists, politicians, and cultural figures. Scratch below the surface, though, and this initiative seems as much about celebrating Black British talent as it is about educating the supposedly uneducated population, who the royal couple seems to think are insufficiently aware of the contributions made by Brits of African and Caribbean backgrounds. The couple gave a Zoom interview to The Standard from their £11 million mansion in California, all in cringeworthy style to which we've become accustomed. Harry recites tired talking points in the manner of a man reading a hostage letter, while Meghan stares at him, smiling. The list, Harry says, is, quote, an opportunity to introduce Brits to other Brits that they might not know about, adding that even in London, if you actually get out on the streets and talk to people, it doesn't feel as diverse as it actually is. Meghan goes on to defend Black Lives Matter against accusations it is inflammatory. As ever with Harry and Meghan, it is not just the right-on bromides about privilege and race that irk. Indeed, they are at the tamer end of the woke celeb spectrum. It is also who is uttering to them, a couple who are not only eye-watering rich, but also using a platform lent to them by a monarchy they have since ditched. Harry and Meghan, abandoning their royal duties, but not their royal titles, had nothing to do with press racism, of which there is no real evidence. They wanted to have all the privileges of the monarchy, status, deference, public money, but none of the obligations, smiling, waving, keeping their mouths shut. This is what really gets people's backs up. Indeed, just days before Harry and Meghan made their call to end structural racism in Britain, a poll suggested Brits wanted nothing to do with them. According to YouGov, 48% want them stripped of their royal titles, as opposed to 27% who think they should keep them. That Harry and Meghan barrel on regardless, to the applause of the Metropolitan set and the supreme irritation of almost everyone else, speaks to their own vanity. But it also speaks to the elitism of woke politics, of movement that poses as fighting for the underdog, but most often takes the form of hectoring the little people. Where once royalty might have been expected to provide moral and spiritual guidance to the great unwashed, now Harry and Meghan pose as the anti-racist instructors of the great unwoke. The underlying sentiment is that ordinary people are backward, dumb, and should be led from on high. It's no wonder that woke politics has so easily been co-opted by corporations, cash-stuffed celebrities, and even royals. It allows filthy rich people to pose as being on the side of the oppressed, all while leaving their material wealth untouched. If the Duke and Duchess of Sussex were that committed to tackling structural inequality of the class or race variety, they probably wouldn't be so keen on hanging on to their royal titles. That is, hanging on to an institution that continues to confer prestige on the basis of bloodlines and inherited privilege. This latest intervention, like all of their other interventions, has little to do with tackling real oppression and everything to do with boosting their egos and their increasingly lucrative brand. That two literal royals have been able to claim the mantle of progressivism shows how elitist and shallow that wing of politics has become. Meanwhile, some revealed from Robert Lacey at the end of a foreign tour it is not uncommon practice for the members of the family who carried out the mission to pay a courtesy visit to Windsor Castle or Buckingham Palace to report back to the Queen. Her Majesty is 99% certain to have visited those territories herself and to have personal knowledge of some of the presidents and places involved. These sessions tend to be informal get-togethers over tea or a gin and tonic, and occasionally the gist of gathering gets leaked to the press to convey the Queen's gratitude to those who have carried the flag in her name. But there was no such leaking in October 2019 to tell the world the Queen was happy with what Harry and Meghan had achieved in Africa. Meghan starts emoting against the backdrop of one of the most blighted corners of the planet to complain about the distressing problems you are experiencing adjusting to life inside a palace. Meghan's litany of grievance had suggested indifference, bordering on contempt, for the true concerns of the human beings among whom she had been smiling. It also demonstrated a bizarre tone deafness as to how miserably self-indulgent her self-pity must appear. The 3 huge law cases against the British media establishment launched by Harry and Meghan while they were in Africa were the supreme examples of this, pure insubordination, not just to Young and his staff, who would have had to process the implications as they affected the crown, but ultimately to the Queen. To compound it, as the Christmas holidays approached, Harry and Meghan snubbed the Queen for a second time. They had not gone to stay at Balmoral with her in the summer, and they decided that they just couldn't join her at Sandringham for the New Year break either. That seemed to suit Charles and William just fine, and the same went for the Queen. Hammer, sadly, was the operative word. The Sussexes' tough tactics in giving the palace so little notice when they achieved their provocative website the previous Wednesday had come straight from another mantra Rachel Zone lived by: never underestimate the power of a good slap or two. And having administered one good slap, another was around the corner when it was widely reported that her team had been in contact with ABC, NBC, and CBS, and a celebrity chat show host such as Oprah. It was like dealing with a hard-nosed Hollywood lawyer, says a senior palace source familiar with the negotiations. The Sussexes wanted guarantees on every single point as if it were a contractual negotiation. They totally misplayed the negotiations, said a palace insider. But then, so did the palace. When it comes to their plans for earning their own money using the name of Sussex Royal, that decision was delayed pending further deliberations. The Queen deliberated for several weeks, then ruled that Harry and Meghan could not use Sussex Royal as the brand name to market their merchandise and various activities in North America. It was reliably reported that Her Majesty remained well disposed towards her grandson and granddaughter-in-law. She wished them well in their new life in Canada, and her 8th great-grandchild as well, of course. But it was also said by those in the know that the couple's erratic and impulsive behavior for the past year had not inclined Queen Elizabeth II to entrust the Sussexes with the use of the word royal anytime soon. Extracted from Battle of the Brothers, William, Harry, and the Inside Story of a Family in Tumult by Robert Lacey, to be published by William Collins on October 15th. My video has ended. What do you think about what's been revealed? Please let me know in the comment section below and we can discuss them together. If you so prefer my video, don't be afraid to like and share it with anyone you think might also love it like us. And subscribe to the Sussex Daily News channel to get more news from the royal family. Now goodbye and see you tonight.